Today I'm going to adjust the action, do the final bits of polishing on the nut and the saddle, and get this guitar ready to deliver. So the first thing I'm going to do is adjust the string height at the nut. When I push down between the second and third fret, I want the string clearance at the first fret to be just about the thickness of a business card. So I've already done the 6th string, so now I'm going to do the 5th string. I've got graduated files here, so I can file a slot that is right for the diameter of a particular string. I don't have to make them all the same width. So I'll file a little bit, put the string back in the slot, check the height. That one's still a little high. Do a little more. And I rock the file from side to side a little bit just to make sure the string doesn't bind in the slot. Just a few more strokes and this one will be done. Okay, good. So now I'll move on to the D string and go up down the line until I get all 6 of the strings where I want them to be. Okay, I've got the strings right where I want them at the nut end. Now it's time to do some adjustment at the saddle. When I measure at the 12th fret, I am looking for a clearance on this guitar of 8/64 or 1/8 of an inch between the bottom of the bass string and the top of the 12th fret. What I have right now is 9/64, so I have to lower the saddle on that side. Now on this side, I've got the clearance just about where I want it at 7/64 of an inch. So this side of the saddle is pretty good, but this side, the string is a 1/64 of an inch too high. So I don't have to just guess at how much to lower the saddle. If you think of the fretboard and the strings and the saddle as an isosceles triangle, with the string being the hypotenuse, the 12th fret is half the distance. So if you lower the base of the triangle, meaning the bridge saddle, by a certain amount, you'll lower the string at the 12th fret by half of that amount. So if I want to lower the 12th fret by a 1/64 of an inch, it means I have to take a 32nd of an inch off the saddle. So that's what I'm going to do, is remove a 32nd of an inch from the saddle and taper that so that I ultimately wind up removing nothing at the treble string. Alright, so I'll mark a 32nd of an inch on this end of the saddle and just make a little pencil mark right at the very top edge at the treble side as a reference so I know not to go below that. Okay, now I'll take this to my sanding block and start sanding down the base side of the saddle. Okay, that's right where I want it. So now I have to re-crown it so that the peak of the saddle is right in the center. And I'll do that by using the sanding block some more. And then I'll polish this up. While the strings are loose, I'll polish up the nut, put the label in the guitar, and I should be pretty well done with it. Now I'll polish it on the buffing wheel. Okay, nice and shiny. I took the excess material off of the top of the nut. I want the strings to sit maybe a little bit deeper than half of their diameter, but not much more than that. So on the nut, on this one, I'm going to get a little fancy, and I'm going to scallop away material between the string slots. I don't know that it does anything acoustically, but I think it looks pretty cool. So that's the next step. So I have this very smooth round rat tail file. Well, no, it's just a round file. And I'm going to carefully file a curve between the string slots. So here's how it looks after polishing. Whoop. Alright, now I'll put the label in the guitar and restring it. It should be all set. Okay, so I'll just let the strings stretch out a little bit. Give it a final tuning. Well, that's ridiculous. It gets tuned every time somebody plays it. So I'll go over it once with a polishing cloth, just mostly to get the bench, the workbench dust off of it. And then it's good to go. Hard to avoid reflections. I just pushed the record button.
Well, hello there out there in YouTube land. Mr. Zimnicki has brought me a fine instrument today. This is the one that you've been watching in his series. And now I get to play around with the finished product. Bye.